Welcome to the Tailgate Debate. You're here with Anthony, Zach, Jamie, and Earl.
Hey, what's up, fellas? So we're back. Last week we would preview the college teams. Tonight we're going to do a little bit of NFL. So we're going to start with the Tennessee Titans. We've got the Titans that we're going to do, and then we're going to take a look at the Ravens, just our home teams. We're not going to go beyond that. So we'll start with the Titans. That should be pretty quick. I'm going to go through. I'm just going to give my overall record, and then just maybe we can touch on some key matchups after that. I got the Titans going 12-5 overall. A little bit of a generous pick there, but I don't think their schedule is all that difficult. So I got them taking losses against the Bills, the Packers, Bengals, Chargers, and Cowboys. I think all pretty legit teams, but outside of that, I don't see a lot. But I do think it was on the generous side because I'm a fan. But that's where I got it. Jamie, what do you got the Titans going?
I actually have the Titans going 6-11, which is I would say pretty aggressive. I think they really messed up by getting rid of AJ Brown and taking a risk on this rookie receiver. I thought it was crazy that they would trade a known commodity instead of paying the receiver and then drafting a rookie wide receiver. Like, it's just very risky. Tannehill's already shaky enough to get rid of his number one target. I think just puts him in a bad position. So really, it's Derrick Henry or nothing. So I have them losing 11 games this year, which is a huge drop.
from the 1 seed to 11 losses.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Like, one receiver takes them from a first round bye in the playoffs last year to a 6-11. Whatever, it's your pick.
Yeah, for sure, it's drastic, but I don't know. I just see him falling off tremendously. I've never really been a huge believer in Ryan Tannehill. Obviously, losing the one receiver, they shouldn't, go from a 1 seed to missing the playoffs, but that's what I'm calling. I think they're going to be pretty bad this upcoming year because basically it's Derrick Henry or nothing. They don't really have any other weapons on offense.
All right, Zach, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they win a lot of close games, but I think more like the 12-5 neighborhood. Their division is shit. I mean, the Texans, Colts, Jags, dog shit. So I think they limp into the playoffs and probably get knocked out first round.
So you said 12-5. Did you mean 10-7?
No.
So
there's 17 games, so 12-5.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the sheet, you got them 10-7.
Yeah, I'm fickle.
You put 10-7 on the sheet and say any random shit you want to when we get on. He's like, because you're basically like, yeah, I think they're going to go 17-0 and then just kind of limp into the playoffs, get knocked out in the playoffs.
I think they'll be over 500 and limp into the playoffs and lose, so they'll be irrelevant either way.
Okay. All right, Earl, what do you think?
I have them going 10-7, and I was saying that it was going to be the same as Zach's. But yeah, I mean they're going to be halfway decent. Tannehill can still win some games, but he also likes to throw some picks and give some games away. So 10-7, I think, will probably put them right where I think they're going to be.
Yeah, I actually wouldn't be surprised at 10-7. I knew that I was being a little bit generous, and because I hate Tannehill, I think he's terrible. And so if they had a legit, I would feel pretty comfortable with the 12-5. But I don't trust Tannehill for shit. But they got a good defense and they got a good run game, and I think that's going to keep them competitive in most games, other than the teams that really have high powered offenses. I did give them a win over the Chiefs too, but only because how bad the Chiefs looked last year, I thought, early in the season. All right, anybody else on the Titans before we wrap them up? There's not a whole lot of excitement around them anyway, so there's not a reason to spend a ton of time on them.
I do want to say I went down the schedule again, and I had them losing to the Texans. I'm not sure how I did that. So I actually have them going 7-10. So
How generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice improvement.
we'll have to come back to this at the end of the season when
Well, that's why it's on paper. We're definitely coming back to it because that's some stupid shit. I think my 12-5 is generous, but I think your 7-10 is the worst of the 4 picks. There's no chance they go 7-10.
Well, I mean, you're essentially saying they only win their division games.
they have a pretty tough schedule.
I
I mean,
You think-
their division does. I mean, their division's not very good, but I think they have a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, I mean,
That's okay.
yeah.
I
We'll
mean,
see.
you do have them losing we all have them beating the Eagles, and you have them losing. The Eagles, I think, will have a good offense, so they have a chance to lose that game. I think we're betting on the Eagles being the Eagles of old, but I think they're going to have a good offense this year. I don't know about their defense though.
Yeah, clearly, I'm very high on AJ Brown. So if you take AJ Brown, Titans, give him to the Eagles are gonna wax that ass.
Well, hold on. Ass is my line. Don't be stealing my line. And secondly, I love AJ Brown. I'm not very high on the Eagles though. I'm not overly impressed with them. I don't expect them to do a whole lot this year.
I think the Eagles. I think they do win their division this year. I don't think the Cowboys win the division. I think the Eagles do.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. We can take a look at the divisions and pick winners later on, but I got the Cowboys win that division.
What do you think about Jalen Hurts this year? I think he's going to be much better this year than another year under his belt.
I think Jalen Hurts is functional. I think they can win some games with him. I don't know if he's going to get anybody. I don't know if he's going to get him to the Super Bowl, but I think he's a decent enough quarterback.
I agree. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and he just makes the right plays. He's dual threat. He's got some weapons now. So I think he's going to have a good season. It'll be a tough decision, I think, at the end of the year whether they continue with him or draft a quarterback in the first round. So that'll be their predicament.
Another close game Jamie had was with the Colts. We all have them beating the Colts. So, that could be a game where they lose.
So I have them splitting with the Colts because that's a division team. And I think the Colts, I mean, they have Jonathan Taylor. They have a pretty solid defense, and they have Matt Ryan. So I think it's completely fair to say that they split because the Colts aren't a bad team.
Yeah, those division games are weird. So
But
I don't think it's unreasonable to say it's a split at all, even if one team's dog shit. Like,
yeah, I have the Titans beating the Jags both times and the Texans both times. I just think their schedule is really hard. They have a lot of good teams that they play, and I like those teams better than I like the Titans.
Yeah. I think that the knock on the Titans to me is how vanilla their offense is. It's just I agree. I do agree with the assessment that it's run or bust. You can't depend on Tannehill. He's too bad. He's just too bad. And so that's really the problem with the Titans. And
Henry missed games last year due to injury.
Yeah.
He's the heart and soul of their team, what they do on offense. And their offense is limited because of Tannehill. His skills are limited. He's not going to win you the game throwing the ball.
I mean, he's a game manager. That's all he is.
I don't even think he's a game manager. I think he sucks.
He's a lot.
I put him in the bottom 3, man. I really do. I put him in the bottom 3.
I put him at like 20.
He drives me crazy.
20 is fair. Bottom 3 is that's just disrespectful. That's like at that point, like you got something against him.
I do have something against him. He sucks.
There's definitely 3 quarterbacks that I could name that suck worse.
Name him. Name him.
The projected starter for Seattle right now is Geno Smith. Do we all agree on Geno Smith?
I agree.
much worse.
That's one. You got 2 to go.
Carson Wentz was in my bottom 5.
No, I like Carson Wentz.
What about that bitch from the Jags?
He has potential. Trevor Lawrence has potential, man.
He's dog
Yeah.
shit.
He's
No,
talented.
he's no good, but I like him better than Tannehill.
He's a bust.
He's a bust. He's going to be a bust. I agree. But Tannehill is an established bust.
Yeah, I mean the Falcons, their projected starters Marcus Mariota right now, and they're pretty similar. Mariota, Tannehill, they're similar.
Yeah, it's hard to take
Tannehill's
Mariota
better.
over Tannehill when they ran Mariota out of Tennessee. So yeah, okay. So you got two, Mariota and G.
And then I would say Mitchell Trubisky.
Okay, I stand corrected. I'll take those.
We didn't even keep going. That shit was
off the top
done.
of my head. I know I could have named Jameis Winston. I actually like Jameis Winston, but I know you guys all said that you think he sucks. So
He sucks balls.
I like
All right,
Jameis.
so I'm gonna put Ryan Tannehill like 22 because I agree on Jameis Winston. I agree on Mitch Trubisky. Who else? Is Minshew's not a starter anymore, is he? Because I put him down there too.
No, he's a backup for the Eagles.
Yeah, all those dudes that are bouncing around, they're scrubs.
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with that. And Geno Smith. I mean, Geno Smith has to be the lowest rated. I thought he was retired.
I can't believe that bitch is still in the NFL.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Everybody.
Yeah, they're all bitches. All the bad quarterbacks are bitches.
Drew Lock is the other quarterback.
What's
there.
up, bitches? Yeah.
Drew Lock has no business even looking at a football.
Well, that's what I was going to say. If Drew Lock wins the job, then I'm still going to list Drew Lock as bottom 3. So the Seahawks have a shitty situation at quarterback.
I don't think Drew Lock is that bad.
He is horrendous.
I don't know why. I must be missing something with him because everybody hates him. And when I watched him, maybe I'm still thinking about Missouri, but I always pretty well. Definitely in Missouri, he was decent. He was pretty decent. I don't know.
He was good in college, but in the pros, he's been terrible.
I just thought he got injured a few times. I didn't think he had really had like a long enough run to see what he could do. I thought he kept getting hurt, but maybe he sucks.
It's crazy that you're like high on Drew Lock, but with Trevor Lawrence going into his second year, I don't get that at all because Trevor Lawrence is actually talented.
I wasn't all that impressed with Trevor Lawrence in college, and I'm not that impressed.
Are you
with him.
crazy? You didn't think he was good in college?
He was good, but I never thought that he was like, oh my gosh, this guy's unbelievable. I was never like that over.
He was unbelievable.
I thought he benefited because Clemson outclassed everyone.
Yeah,
for sure. He had, but you can say that about every Alabama quarterback too. Like you're high on Mac Jones as well.
Mac Jones is good.
He had a ton of talent. Trevor Lawrence has great. He has a ton of talent. He's just playing for the Jags.
Well, I'm not impressed with Trevor Lawrence, but I'm super high on Mac Jones. I will admit that. I thought he was pro ready when he came out of college. I mean, obviously he got drafted, so, but I really thought he would be good to go right out of the gate. And I thought he had a decent rookie season. Going to be a good quarterback for a long time in the NFL. That about Trevor Lawrence. So I just don't. And it could be the Jags. It could be how bad they suck. But I didn't expect much out of Lawrence coming into the NFL at all. I think that you're high on Lawrence because he beat the shit out of Notre Dame. So you gotta try to help yourself sleep at night. You got to convince yourself that he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely got to see him a few times, and he lit our ass up for sure.
Did you have seats in the end zone?
No.
I was going to ask if you brushed his hair.
All right, so moving on. So yeah, that's it on the Titans. Pretty anticlimactic season for them, I think, coming up.
So you guys all have them winning the division and making the playoffs, right?
Yeah,
I do, but I agree with Zach. I don't expect much in the playoffs from them.
Yeah, I think the Colts win that division.
You think so?
Yeah, I think the Colts have a similar season to the Rams as far as like turning it around with the trade of quarterback. I don't see them winning the Super Bowl, obviously, but I see the Colts having a pretty decent year this year.
I wouldn't be surprised by that either. The Rams comparison I don't really get, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Colts win.
I'm saying they're taking an established quarterback from a team and putting them on their team, and they're going to see instant success is what the comparison was.
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, the Rams were absolutely loaded. They plugged Matthew Stafford into an offense that was just ready to explode. They just need to light the match. Matt Ryan is coming to a good offense, but it's primarily a run offense. He's not going to have that much of an impact, and he looks more aged than Stafford does. I think. I don't think Matt. I like Matt. I've always liked Matt Ryan. I don't think he looks that good lately.
I think Matt Ryan's at least a few years older than Matthew Stafford, though. So he is older.
He looks it.
And that Rams team too, they had a good defensive line, like Von Miller and who's the nose tackle? The big dude. Yeah, he was a monster. Like they crushed.
They were the most talented team last year for sure.
Yeah.
But I think it's actually a little bit disgusting that they didn't blow everybody out in the playoffs. I mean, they really should. It should have been a walk through the Super Bowl, and they struggle in almost every game. I don't really get it.
It's still the NFL.
I don't care,
Yeah,
man. They were loaded on both sides of the ball.
For sure they were loaded. I mean,
Everyone has talent.
Okay. You guys just gonna shit on everything? All my takes tonight?
Well, you made a comment about the NFL, how like the good teams, the margin between the good teams and the bad teams is thinner than people think.
Yeah, I agree.
For you to just be like, I thought the Rams were just gonna fucking walk. Like to make that comment and then that comment is a little. I think it's fair to question that.
Why?
You don't see
those are contradictory statements.
They're contradictory. I didn't say they should have won by 30. I mean, you can still have a competitive league, but still win your games convincingly. The Rams were
but you're
loaded.
Your wording was walk through the playoffs. So what do you mean by that?
I felt like they should have won each game
By 30?
They should have been in control. What'd you say? What'd you say?
He said by 30.
Shut the fuck up.
They walk.
Hey man, the Rams were loaded. They did have a great defense. I think their offense was good also, maybe not great. But you're playing some good teams. I mean, there was good defense.
Yeah, I mean they beat the Bucks and shit to get to the Super Bowl. It's not like they just walked
Bucks
there.
were
They
defense, top offense.
They were beating the shit out of the Bucks, and the Bucks made a comeback. And
Yeah.
through that game.
Yeah. I'm not a big believer in the Rams coach. I don't like him at all. I think he's a terrible coach, to be honest. I mean, I think they're building a great team and they're getting a lot of talent on those rosters, but in terms of like coaching the game, I think he's awful. I think he's awful. One of the worst, actually. And I said right from the beginning, if they lost in the playoffs, it would be because of the coach, not because they had all the talent. I think the coach is terrible.
Yeah, I would say I'm definitely lukewarm on him.
Are you guys putting them bottom 3?
No, not bottom 3, but not top 10. Not top 10.
Fair. I mean, that's not top 10 is fair.
I mean, a lot of guys would have him top 10 because he's 2 Super Bowls and appearances in the last 5 years or 6 years. And so, you got to listen to those people citing that shit. But if you watch what he does, if you watch the decisions, it's some of you're just like scratching your head, like what the fuck are you doing? It doesn't make any sense. I'm not impressed at all with him. So
yeah, they also laid one of the biggest turds in Super Bowl history. So
yeah, that was an ugly game too against the Patriots. What was the final of that game? 13-3?
13-3, yeah.
Most boring Super Bowl in history.
And the worst halftime show on top of it.
What was the halftime show?
I can't remember his name. Chance the Rapper or something? He was dog shit.
I don't watch
Oh, was that the weekend?
No.
No, the weekend was a different one.
No. It was Sunday.
Boo.
Next segment.
I'm just gonna admit, I have no idea who any of like the new music artists are at all. Like not rap, not rock, not alternative. I don't. People talk about these artists. I'm like, I have no idea who the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, we can tell who the old guys are. You're saying you don't know who they are. You're making these corny ass jokes, and then Earl thinks that Chance the Rapper and the Weeknd are the same person.
No. I was thinking it was the Weeknd who did that halftime.
His show was weird too. I thought.
Yeah,
With the mirrors and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't like that one either.
You guys act like we're going to be insulted that we don't know who the new rappers and rock artists are. Who gives a shit? Why would we care? Are we supposed to be insulted?
Why you
No.
get, well, it sounds like it. You're getting offended.
No, because if you're going to insult me, say something insulting. Go, oh, you don't know who any of the new rappers are. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
You're making these corny ass jokes because the dude's name is The Weeknd, and you're like, oh, Sunday?
I seriously.
You got booted off the stage.
And also last year we had fucking 50 Cent doing fat ass sit-ups.
Yeah, exactly. And listen, I saw the wires on his shoulders that were help pulling his ass up. He wasn't really doing anything. Oh my gosh, that was fucking brutal.
That halftime show made me feel old.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
When I was like 10 years old or whatever, like those were the guys that were mainstream at the time.
Yeah.
So like Eminem, Snoop Dogg, and then 50 Cent, seeing those dudes all old as shit, and 50 being fat as fuck, like dying doing pull or whatever he was doing. I was like, holy shit, I'm old. Like it's bad when you look at someone struggling and you're like, damn, I feel.
Yeah, 50 Cent was sweating.
Yeah, he was.
He was like, I'm up in the club.
The most impressive performance that night was him finishing that rap.
Oh my gosh, that I didn't like the halftime show. I think the Super Bowl halftime shows are fucking stupid. I can't stand them.
I can't stand it either. It fucks the whole game up. I just don't like it.
It's just too commercial. I just want to see the game. And I know that they get a lot of people that tune in just for the halftime show. So I get why they do it. But I never watch that bullshit. I just get up and go, that's time to go eat and make a plate and go to the bathroom. And I don't watch any of that. Speaking of crap, let's get to the Ravens. So Earl, I guess you're the Ravens fan, so let's start with you. What do you got them going, and just give us an explanation why.
I got them going 13-4.
You definitely got to explain that shit.
Yeah, no, it's easy to explain. I mean, first of all, I think usually we beat the teams that aren't very good. So we got the Jags this year. They're not very good. Miami's not very good. The Jets not very good. Panthers. So Falcons. So we got a couple easy games. Okay. Our schedule is not very hard.
Okay.
And I have us usually splitting with the division. So I have us splitting with the Bengals.
Okay, I'll bet that. Go ahead.
I have us beating the Browns twice, and I have us, the Steelers twice, and I have us splitting with the Browns. Tampa Bay, they're a top 5 offense, top 5 defense. We're not going to beat them away. We're playing them away. Who else? We got the Patriots. I haven't beat the Patriots. You guys have them as a loss. Jamie has a win with me. Hey, listen, the Patriots, ever since Tom Brady was gone, I don't think they're the team that they used to be. Their draft was just okay. Nothing really big stood out with their acquisitions. So they're going to be behind the Bills again in that conference. I think they'll probably New England would do something like 10-7. So I think we'll take the New England away. What else do we have that might be different with you guys? I have them losing to the Buffalo Bills, which is the same with you guys. That's it. I think the main difference. I think we're going to have our offense is going to be probably in the top 10. I think our defense is probably going to be, anywhere from 7, 8, something like that.
Okay.
It's hard for me to imagine the Ravens having a bad defense. The problem is they have a quarterback who can't fucking throw the ball. So I got them going 9-8, and they can suck my balls. That's it.
That's how you do some motherfucking analysis. Right there. I think you suck, and you can suck my balls. There it is.
Hey, I mean, I can,
You already went through your analysis, Jamie.
no,
what do you got?
I'm just saying, I can
hold
see
on.
how you get the 8 losses.
Jamie.
There's gonna be some close games.
I mean, it's going to be tough to follow Zach's in-depth analysis on how the Ravens season's going to go. But I have them going 10-7. I think that with a record of 10-7, you're usually on the cusp of being, one of the teams that make it. So they could definitely make the playoffs with that record. I have them losing both games to the Bengals. I don't know how you can watch last season and think that Ravens team can. And I know the injuries and all that, but the Bengals dogged the shit out of the Ravens both times. It wasn't even close. And the Bengals have Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. They're loaded on offense. Their defense is getting better. They improved their offensive line. I think the Bengals are going to be really good again next year. They're going to win both the games against the Ravens. I have the Ravens beating the Browns twice. Obviously, with Deshaun Watson being out for the 11 games, they're definitely going to win the first game. And then with him just coming back from the suspension, I think the Ravens will beat them again, just because it's just too much to just throw Deshaun Watson in and expect the Browns to take off.
Well, I heard they weren't giving out hand jobs, so it'll be a tough game.
He might not even show up. But I have the Ravens splitting with the Steelers. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens beat the Steelers both games. It really just depends on how the Steelers quarterback, how that goes. If Mitch Trubisky actually turns into a decent quarterback, or if Kenny Pickett comes in and does well. I don't think that Kenny Pickett is going to be a good quarterback in NFL. So I don't think the Steelers really have a good situation at quarterback. But
yeah, I agree. They don't have shit.
Yeah, the Steelers Ravens is always a good game. So I just projected that it would be a split, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Ravens won both games. Obviously, I have the Ravens basically losing against the top team. So like the Bills, when they play the Bills, I have them losing. I have them losing to Tampa Bay. So
yeah, any team with a quarterback that can throw.
Yeah, I think those games you can automatically say that. I mean, the Ravens could definitely win those games. I'm taking the other team, and then I'm also taking the Dolphins early in the season. I know the Dolphins weren't very good last year, but I think Tua gets a lot of help with the offensive linemen that they've added, and then also the addition of Tyreek Hill. So yeah, I have them going 10-7, and with a chance to make the playoffs. Obviously, 10 wins doesn't always guarantee you the playoffs, so they could potentially miss the playoffs.
Yeah, to me, they're another limper.
Yeah, I got them going to 8-9. I got them missing the playoffs. I got them going 8-9. And then I got them losing to Miami early also. I don't think they make the playoffs. I agree that on the Steelers, I think they sweep the Steelers unless Pickett starts. If Pickett starts, I like the Steelers to split. I like Kenny Pickett. I think he's going to be good. And then I got the Bengals beating the absolute shit out of them twice. Every Ravens fan I talked to has got the Bengals splitting, and I don't see any chance that the Ravens split with the Bengals unless the Bengals really drop off, and I don't see that happening. So I think the Ravens do have a pretty easy schedule, but I don't think they make the playoffs. And I also go ahead.
No, I was just going to say with Cincinnati, I mean, look, they have a good defense. Their offense is ranked in the 8th or something like that. Their defense is probably have gotten a lot better since last year, but they were good last year too. It's just I think our defense is 10 times better than it was last year. Our secondary is ranked like the #1 secondary. So it's going to be their #1 secondary for the Ravens against their top 8 offense. So
do you think because the injuries they're better, or just they've just improved?
No, we got Marcus Peters back. We have Humphreys, who's going to be 100%. We got, who was it? Williams, the other Marcus Williams we have. We have the Notre Dame safety, Kyle Hamilton. I think we really beefed up our secondary, and that's where Cincinnati took it to us. So, I mean, I don't see that happening again like you guys think it will happen.
Yeah, so the Ravens do have a really good secondary, and I do think that they were rated number 1. That being said, though, I would take the Bengals receivers over the Ravens secondary. I would give the nod to the Bengals receivers. I think Jamar Chase, Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, and then their tight end, he's decent too. And then
Yep.
Joe Burrow throwing the ball like that. That's a lot of firepower. They might have the best wide receivers in the league collectively from top to bottom.
And I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying that it's not going to, I mean, you guys both had mentioned blowouts. Cincinnati's going to blow them out again compared to what it was last year. I don't see that happening. I think it could be 2 very close games. We could lose them both. I doubt we win them both, but I have us as a split.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Go ahead.
referenced the blowout just because the Ravens fans are saying that, they see splitting, them winning 1 and you guys winning 1. And just based off last year, and I understand the injuries, like it wasn't your full team. I just don't see how you can look at that matchup and think that the Ravens can split there. I think the Bengals are head and shoulders better than the Ravens.
Yeah, I think just it's a matter of perspective, like what you're going to lean on, whether it's offense or defense. I don't see a split at all, but mine is not so much about the Ravens defense. The Ravens have had a good defense for 20 years, minus a couple seasons with injuries or rebuild. But
lack of murders.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a defensive issue for the Ravens. It's never has been. To me, I think the Cincinnati is a really good offense. I think they're a good team. I think Burrow is going to be a great quarterback for a long time. And I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to score with the Bengals at any point. And it really comes back to Lamar, which we're going to get into next about his contract. But last thought, Zach, you got a last thought on the Ravens?
Oh, I was just going to say the Bengals are a bad matchup for the Ravens to me because they have a solid defense and, their offense is good. I mean, Burrow is a winner. So that's what they do. I think the Bengals take the division. I think the Ravens kind of waffle. And that's assuming Lamar stays healthy, which he runs 20 times a game. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to do our opinions based on everybody being healthy. I mean, who knows? Anybody get injured, so that you can't really predict all that. But yeah, I think the Bengals are legit, and I think they're to stay. And I'd actually think they own the division for several years to come. That's
their division or the AFC?
The North.
Okay.
The Bills are young too. So they definitely are not going to own the AFC, but with the Bills and the Bengals, I think those are the teams that are. I don't think that either one of them are a fluke in the last year or two. I think they're here to stay for a while.
So Buffalo Bills they're much better defense than Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is the middle of the road. They're 16, 17, 20, 18, somewhere around there in their defense. That's going to be their downfall with trying to, like you say, dominate the North, because you have to have a good defense and offense. I believe Baltimore will have both a good offense and defense. Whether it's Lamar, passing suck, their running backs, if they all come back healthy, is going to put up a lot of numbers. When their rushing attack is going, they're the number 1 scoring team. They're the number 1 rushing offense, and they just wear the defense down. And that's going to be the problem with Cincinnati having a strong hold on the North.
So yeah, should we get into Lamar's contract since we're talking about this?
You got him going third. You got him 4, so we know where you're at with the Ravens. We're not believers like you, but Zach and Jamie got him edging into the playoffs. I got him missing. So I think just like all the other picks, if you kind of average them out, you're probably going to get a pretty realistic number. But yeah, so we need to talk about Lamar, because a lot of the season in the Ravens' eyes hinges on Lamar even playing. And so the interview that I saw with him last, I'm sure you guys all saw the same thing, where the reporters asked him if the deadline is season opener, and he said, yeah. So he's representing himself. He doesn't have a contract. And there's not a ton of speculation about that he'll or hold out if he doesn't get a contract. But I know that Stephen A said that he thinks he should sit. And so there is a little bit of rumblings about whether or not he'll sit out at the beginning of the season or the whole season if he doesn't have a contract. So thoughts on that? Does he sit? What happens if he sits? Should he sit? I mean, what
The
do you guys think?
Ravens should never fucking pay him. It'll be the next 5 years of Flacco, just like they did after the last Super Bowl. He's not a franchise quarterback. I would tell him to fuck off. I would play Huntley and deal with it. He's going to get hurt. He can't throw. He's got like 10 points in the playoffs. Piss off. You're not worth $100 million, which is what he's going to ask for.
He's asking for much more than that.
Oh, more? Yeah.
I think it's 300 million.
He won something that's equivalent to Kyler Murray's. So
Yeah.
what was he, 240 or something?
Like,
Yeah, you ask for that kind of money. That means your receivers could be in wheelchairs and you win games. He can't fucking do it. He can't throw. He's probably going to get hurt. I would never pay him.
Well, the speculation about getting hurt is, I mean, that's part of it, but whatever. So, Jamie, Earl, what do you guys think?
go ahead, Earl.
I think what happens now with it doesn't even matter. It seems to me if you're a mediocre quarterback, you're getting paid $20 million a year. You know what I mean? Just mediocre. So you put a five-year contract. I mean, you're paying them a lot of money. You're paying them a lot of money.
What do you
20 million a year.
if you're the GM? What do you do with Lamar? He wants 250 million or whatever it is. What do you do?
I think if you give him, I think you're going to have to pay him in the 30s, high 30s, or even low 40s
Per
But-
season or total?
per season.
Oh,
That's-
so you're thinking like 150 million then for 5 years.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah, but
thinking.
Earl, I think they have offered him that kind of money and he's not taking that. So
Right.
that's not even realistic.
Right.
No, I don't think that any offers have been really given. I think there's been talk of them saying, okay, you does, and I don't know who's saying this or who's, what sports announcers or newscast guys saying, but I think it's going to be more on the Kyler Murray deal.
But that's 240 million.
Yes, or they might just go 5 years and give them like 30 million. So it might only be 150, I don't know.
Earl, I think Jamie is right. What I've heard in the media is that the Ravens have already extended some numbers and some offers, and I don't think anybody knows the details, but he's already turned them down because to be at the level of the highest paid quarterback.
Because I think he wants guaranteed money. And I
Yeah.
think that's where a problem with the Ravens. They're not willing to give him that much guaranteed. They're probably willing to give him that much money, but not guaranteed.
Yeah, he wants
So the
the shit
question-
guaranteed because he's gonna get hurt.
Well,
Right.
the question is, if Kyler Murray 40 and he wants Kyler Murray money, what would you do? You're the Ravens fan. You guys love Lamar. What would you do? You pay him?
I think you pay him. You just don't give him guaranteed contract, guaranteed money.
What do
give
you
him
do,
some
Jamie?
guaranteed, but I mean they're in a predicament. I didn't when they gave it to Flacco. I thought that was crazy. I mean, most people, probably everyone thought it crazy, and I'm a Ravens fan. But I wanted
Yeah,
them.
I don't know what you're talking about. Every Ravens fan I talked to, including you, said you got to pay him. Flacco, every Ravens fan, including you, said got to pay him. He won the Super Bowl. Everyone.
I did say that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's the case. You have to pay him.
Fuck that.
I'm not saying you want to. I don't think they will get. They can't get rid of him. He's one of the best athletes out there.
Nope.
And it just so happens he's at the quarterback role.
I would fucking bench his ass and then sign somebody else.
Well, hold on. Let's get around the horn here. Let's keep going back and forth.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Go ahead, Jamie.
So there's a few things I want to address. I think it's perfectly understandable that Lamar Jackson is asking for top money. If
Wait a
I
minute, I'm sorry. You said you think it's perfectly what? Understandable?
Yeah, if I'm Lamar Jackson, obviously I'm asking for top money. There's other guys who have gotten paid top money who haven't done the things that Lamar Jackson has done in the league. So if you're Lamar Jackson, obviously you want top money. That's fair to me. If I'm the Ravens, there's no way that I'm giving him top money, only because he's not that type of quarterback that makes the team better. So my concern would be, you're giving Lamar all this money, you're putting all this money on his contract. That limits you from signing talent and players to make your team better. Just kind of like what happened with Flacco, right? Like, as they were paying him, the team got worse and worse and worse. They missed the playoffs. So I think it would be a similar situation. I don't think Lamar Jackson makes his teammates better. I think he's a dynamic athlete that's playing quarterback, where the offense is scripted around his abilities. And then the other thing that I would say, if I'm Lamar Jackson, or if I'm, on his board of family members that's advising him, there's no way I allow him to play this season, because if he gets injured, I think that really, he'll lose a ton of money if he gets injured. No one's going to be willing to give him a big contract if he gets injured again. And I think if he was to threaten a holdout or say he's not going to play, I think the deal gets done the next day. Like, all you got to do is put that pressure on the organization. I think the Ravens will end up paying Lamar Jackson. They have too much tied up into him not to do it. Like, why would you do everything that they've done to this point and then decide not to pay him?
Are you good?
I'm good.
Yeah, I was just saying I wanted to go next. If you guys, so I want to just, I don't disagree with your position or well, I mean, I think you're right. They built the offense around, you said around his abilities. I think around his limited abilities. I do agree that he's one of the best athletes in the NFL. I agree with that. But in terms of throwing the football, which is his position, you got to be able to throw the football. I don't care what Raven say. You got to be able to throw the football at some point. And I don't think he can do it. So I actually don't agree. I think the Ravens, I think that the predicament they're in, and I do agree that it's a tough spot that they're in because of the pressure to sign him, the media hype that he's one of the top quarterbacks, the fan pressure that he's one of the top quarterbacks. But there's three issues. Number one, they even saw what happened with Flacco. They saw when they signed that contract, and then the talent level went down at every other position because they couldn't afford it. They saw that. So they learned the lesson there. Number two, Lamar has already gotten hurt a couple of times. And that's going to be a high risk situation for him as much as he runs the football. And number three, he's not a great passer. I don't care what anybody says. If they say that they believe that he's a phenomenal passer and what all this, he is not. And the roster built the team around him. The quarterbacks they have on the roster are very similar to him. They're guys that can throw the ball better than him, I think, and can run the ball. Not as well, obviously. But I think they're guys that can be functional. So I do think the Ravens can compete with their backup quarterbacks. And I think if Lamar said, I do not think a deal gets done. We don't have any insider information, so we're just purely speculating based on opinion. But the fact that he doesn't have a contract right now, if he were to say, I'm sitting, I think it's a done deal. I think they start to prep the backup quarterback. Because they're done. They're cut off at the knees if they pay him. They're done. They can't continue to build the team. They actually start to lose players over the next 4 or 5 years. That's where I'm at.
That's interesting that you said that, because I actually think they pay him. I think they pay him undeservedly, and then they suck balls for 5 years. So
yeah, I think if he threatens a holdout or doesn't play, I think he gets paid pretty quickly. I think that the Baltimore organization, they believe that they have a contender right now, and that's with Lamar Jackson. Huntley's a good backup, but there is a drop off from Lamar to Huntley. Obviously, it might not be drastic in the passing game, but Lamar's ability to run the ball and his dynamic skills as a runner opens up his ability to pass the ball, because the defense is clearly watching the run. And
yeah, I mean, the problem is that in the playoffs, he hasn't passed for shit. He hasn't run for shit.
So. No, I agree. Like, I'll be the first to tell you that if you have the Ravens playing, the Chiefs, the Bills, the
Bengals,
a top team in the playoffs, I think the Ravens are at a disadvantage and they're limited in that scenario because I mean, I don't trust Lamar to win a playoff game throwing the ball. I think he can win regular season games and he can be effective. But when it comes down to winning a Super Bowl and beating those 3 teams that I mentioned, I just don't see it happening.
You don't think, just let me ask this question. You don't think the Ravens have enough passing ability with their running attack to win a game in a playoff?
Say it
the-
again?
the-
What
the
was the,
stats-
I didn't understand the question. What did you say it
Oh,
again?
I'm saying, okay, I understand you're saying they can't win a game because of their passing, but why can't they win because of their running?
No, they can, Earl. I'm just saying, and I'm not even saying that they can't win playoff games. I'm just saying to get to the Super Bowl, they got to beat the Bengals, Bills, Chiefs. Those are the top teams in the AFC. And I would take all 3 of those teams over the Ravens in a playoffs game.
And the reality is that Lamar has averaged like 3 points a game in playoff games. The only playoff game they won was against the Titans, who are dog shit. They won, I think, 17-3 or 20-3. They can't score anything.
And
They lost to the Bills 20-3. They lost to
So wait, they lost to the Bills. That was a close game.
Whoa, hold on. Let's finish because I don't want to go through all these playoff games and break
Okay.
those down, do we? I mean,
No.
Zach, go ahead and finish your thing.
I was just gonna say at the end of the day, in the playoffs, the defenses tighten up and they can't fucking score. That's what matters.
Well,
Like they can win 12, 13, 14 regular season games. At the end of the day, come playoff time, he can't pass when he needs to. So
yeah, I agree. And that game that you're alluding to where they beat the Titans, that was actually a really close back and forth game. And the reason why they beat the Titans was because Lamar broke a huge run. And I'm not
I don't see any value. I mean, you guys can do if you guys want to break down the whole playoffs. I just don't see any value in that. I mean, the question: you think Lamar's the guy to get to the Super Bowl? Nobody cares if they won one playoff game or he will win one playoff game or if he scored 3 points. The question is, can he get to the Super Bowl? I don't think he can.
But the point that we made is that we don't trust Lamar throwing the ball in the playoff.
yeah.
That the one win that they have, Lamar was struggling throwing the ball. The offense wasn't doing anything. He broke a huge run. And what Earl said, like, why can't we win running? Of course you can win running. We're not saying that you're not allowed to win running, but we're just saying that it's going to come down to Lamar's going to have to make throws in the playoffs, and that's where we're skeptical.
Earl?
No, that's fine. That's good. I mean, you're right. It's gonna be whatever team goes into the playoffs playing Kansas City, playing, Cincinnati. They're gonna have to be their A game, right?
Yeah. I just want to ask you a question, Earl. If, say, they're in a playoff game, there's 2 minutes left, the Ravens are down 4 points, they need a touchdown. Are you like, how confident are you that Lamar is going to drive them down the field if they're at their 25-yard line and they have to drive the length of the field and score a touchdown? What's your confidence level?
2.
I would say my confidence would be probably low. I mean, has he done it? Yes, he has. But I would think it would be, my confidence would be low. I'd be worried for him.
But why though? Right?
Because he can't pass. And
Right.
at the end of the day, that's what makes a fucking NFL quarterback. You have to be able to throw the ball when the defense knows you're throwing. He can't do it.
Yeah. Well,
So in my opinion, I would never fucking pay him. He has no business being an NFL quarterback.
And he can suck your balls. We got
And
it.
he can go lick a ball sack. Yeah.
I agree that I wouldn't have him as a starter. And the reason I cut you guys off, if you guys want to go to the playoff games to be played, I don't really care. But the reason I cut it off, because I think this is where everybody always gets lost in the Lamar, is they start looking at the individual games and saying, well, this game he did this, this game he did this. And I think it's so worthless because you can find any shitty quarterback. And I'm not saying he's a shitty quarterback. I'm saying you can find any shitty quarterback and you can pick a game where he lit it up. And it's just, there's no value in it. And so I'm not saying he can never win a playoff game or even 2, or that he won't be able to take the Ravens to the playoffs for the next 5 years like Joe Flacco did when the Ravens had the top defense in the league. But the question is, when you look at Lamar throw the ball, is that the guy that you feel like can lead your team to win a Super Bowl? And I think the Ravens fans have said very loudly, yeah, we believe it. He won the MVP. That's our guy. I think the non-Ravens fans are saying, I got questions about his ability to throw the ball when it matters against the teams that are good enough to contain the run. I think that's the difference.
I think the Ravens fans also think that about his ability of passing. They're gonna, I mean, I've never ever have said he was a good passer. I said that, hey, he's got 67%, you know, I mean, and that's not bad.
64
quarterback rate. 64. That's not bad.
Yeah, those swing passes are great.
Percentage.
It doesn't matter how you do it.
I agree. It doesn't matter. I agree.
I agree too. And 64% is a good completion percentage.
Yeah. I mean, so if he throws it 20 times, it seems like that's where you guys have the problem. He doesn't throw it that much. So that's why his completion rating is where it is. But it doesn't matter. If he they don't throw it a lot. That offense will not throw it a lot. And that's just, it probably be the same this year.
No, like I've said that Lamar is he's amazing. Like with the ball in his hand, he's amazing. He can win games. My only concern is if you're paying a guy top of the market money, you have to believe that he's going to get you a Super Bowl. And basically what I'm saying is I don't think he can beat the top teams in the AFC and make it to a Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm just saying I don't believe him to get a Super Bowl. And when you're paying that much money to a quarterback, I feel like that's what you're expecting in return. At least one Super Bowl.
So I'll say one more thing.
Well, hold on, because I want to piggyback on Jamie, and then Earl, you can kind of wrap this up, and we can go on to the next subject. But I think that because Earl, you said you guys, it seems like you're hung up on the fact that they don't throw it 20 times, or he can't do it 20 times. I'm not hung up on that at all. What I'm hung up on, and this is what pisses me off, and this is what I think drives everybody crazy who's not a Ravens fan, is you can give 19 compliments about Lamar Jackson. He's a fantastic athlete. He seems like a good teammate. He was great in college. You can compliment him all day, and then hold on, and then as soon as you say, but I don't think he's a great passer, the Ravens, yeah, it doesn't matter how many compliments you gave. You're a hater. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. He won a unanimous MVP. You're full of shit. If he didn't get hurt last year, he would have won the MVP. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what fucking everybody gets hung up on. It's like you can say, look, great football player. He's a great athlete. He's electric. He can't pass. Oh my God, you're a fucking idiot. That's what I get hung up on.
So, okay, but that is with everyone. Everyone. I can tell you 10 fabulous things about you, but if I say one bad thing, you're going to say, oh, fuck you, Earl.
No, that's not true.
That happens. And about paying Lamar a lot. Listen, there is probably the top 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks are paid a lot of money, and not all of them are going to win a Super Bowl, right? So trying to pay someone $300 million to win a Super Bowl, you say he's crazy, but the top 5, 6 quarterbacks are getting paid that much money. Or
that's
yeah. So
is he going to win you a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but
if you pay him that money,
I
you
believe he
deload
might.
your roster. Is he going to pay that? Is he going to fucking pay up? Like, is he going to win a Super Bowl? The answer is no. So,
but when all those guys got paid, obviously you can look back and say, hey, he didn't win a Super Bowl. He didn't win a Super Bowl. But at the time, the organization is saying, this is our guy. We think we can win with him.
And that's what the Ravens are saying too.
Okay, let's.
I don't agree.
Hey, I want to spend 5 minutes on Deshaun Watson before we move on to wrap up this show up. But Earl, I just want to, as a Ravens fan, because we're not even Ravens. Me, Jamie, and Zach are not Ravens fans. You are. So just in a word, do you believe that Lamar is the guy to get you another Super Bowl? Do you believe that?
I believe Lamar can win a Super Bowl. Do I believe that
No. The question is, do you think he is the guy? Because that's what they're trying to evaluate with this contract. So as a fan, is he your guy?
As a fan, he is my guy.
All right, there you go.
Hey,
So
did Did you say we're gonna wrap up with Deshaun Watson?
I was hoping to. Is that cool with you guys, or you want to skip that?
Yeah, I mean, at least
He
it'll
wraps up with all the masseuses.
I was gonna say
He
Deshaun
unwraps.
never wraps up.
He unwraps.
I mean, at least it'll be a happy ending.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I brought my towel. It's a Kleenex. And he puts it on his chest.
Yeah, so go ahead and finish us off.
Yeah, so oh my gosh. All right, well, since you put it in my hand, I'll go ahead and do it.
So finally, some cooperation.
Yeah. So look, my thing, we need to go quick on this because this Deshaun Watson thing's been beat to death.
Oh Lord.
Just
Hey.
wrap it up.
Hey,
Wrap it up.
listen,
Just wrap it
fuck it. That's a fucking wrap. He's suspended for 11 games. Let's wrap it up there.